Welcome back, everybody. Let's take a break with Stephen Shamus.
Good to see you, my friend. How's it going?
Wonderful. I'm still a little full from Thanksgiving. So, I'm still trying to get it out. Trying to get it out of my system.
Like a stuffed turkey?
Yes. Stuffed ham, because I'm more pink than a white turkey.
I don't eat ham. It's not kosher.
No, it's true. It's not. You're missing on some hot dogs, though. I guess Hebrew Nationals, they're great. They're good hot dogs.
We're national.
Yeah.
Five Guys has kosher hot dogs.
Oh, do they? See, what a great company.
Yeah. All right. What do we got this week, Alex?
We're gonna go a little bit more independence and only one superhero book. So we're gonna talk Avatar, the James Cameron Avatar, not The Last Airbender.
Why do you come to us?
I just want to keep my family safe.
Although we should talk about that in the future. We're going to talk Gen 13, which we've never talked about before, which is...
This is your last chance, Callahan. Miss Fairchild?
Yes?
Super weird. We're going to talk Elementals from one of my favorite comics writers. And then we're going to round it out with the last superhero, Red Hood.
Being dead, then brought back to life, it changed me. Some days I barely feel human, let alone a better man.
Yeah, it's funny, Alex, we always look for these anomalies and what's jumping, and we can see the prices creeping.
Yeah.
And that's what we like to talk about on the show, right? Like, we don't like to just talk about the obvious stuff. And I'm proud to say that, we've done 130 some odd episodes.
Yep.
And I don't think we've repeated much unless there's a new twist or element. Like, we try to,
unless there's a reason why we're talking about it. Yeah.
Right. We're not going back. Like, if you watch the show, you kind of almost have to watch every episode, because we're not going to be like, oh yeah, this character is still hot. Deadpool is still hot, right? Yeah. Like, we address new stuff. Okay. Yeah. So what do we got first?
Let's talk a little Avatar. Talk about popularity again. We're right back.
So the movies are coming out. If Zoe or Sam Worthington decide to do an event, these books are hard to find. Not hard to find. Like, they weren't ordered that much.
Correct. They weren't ordered high. Definitely.
Right. They weren't ordered high. They're starting to pick up a little bit. They're very, very low pop books.
Yeah.
This is more of a recommendation, knowing that the film is coming out soon. Yeah. So the book that everyone's looking at right now is the Avatar Tootsie's Path #1. Tootsie was played by Laz Alonso, who you also know from The Boys, I believe, right?
Oh, yeah. I think you're right.
I think he plays, hold on a second, Alex. He plays Mother's Milk.
Yeah,
on The Boys.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Love him. So he's great. Yeah.
So this book is the one that's popping.
Yep.
So it's a Tootsie's Path #1, Doug Wheatley, cover A, from January of 2019. There's a 0 pop on the book. It's a $5 to $10 raw book.
0.
And there's supposed to be a few more movies, Alex, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. I think they filmed 2 at once. Did one of those things, or they're releasing them, and then they're going to do like a lot more other movies. Hopefully, if they do well. I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't. People love James Cameron, but I think this is another thing that when you got Avatar the movie, you got nothing else for years. I mean, how long we're almost at 10 years, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah,
from the first movie. Yeah. So I mean, when you have nothing like that, people are hungry. They love a franchise. They want to read everything. They want to absorb everything. And once this stuff starts coming out, this might be a prequel. There might be stuff in here that's in the movie, and people are going to want to buy that and own it.
Yeah, there's not a lot of Avatar merch for in the comic book field. And then there's the Shea standard for cover B. There's only one 9.8, and that's a $5 to $10 row book. So we bring up Avatar today. The Avatar comics are not easy to find.
Yeah,
they're going to start to pop. The film's going to come out. People are going to want to get them signed. Laz Alonso does Comic Cons.
Yeah,
Zoe did that one show for us. I don't know if she's going to sign again. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right. What do we got next, Alex? This is an interesting one.
Gen 13. Finally talking a little Gen 13.
Do you remember when these books came out?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I think this is the less known of like that era of like Wildcats and Savage Dragon and Spawn. I think Gen 13 might be the lesser known of all of those books.
Yeah,
super popular.
Yes, and they did all these 13 variants of all these different homage covers.
Yep.
And some of them are really, really popping. We're not going to go through all of them, but I want to highlight the big ones. And again, it's one of those books where they printed millions of copies.
Lots of books, yeah.
And they've been sitting around or kicking around or gathering dust or whatever you want to call it. And if you go online, they were creeping and creeping and creeping. And you know what I think it also is? I think just like McFarlane, where people are getting the book signed, people are getting the book signed by J. Scott Campbell. And, you know, you see him at CGC all the time. And what happens is people go online, they start buying the raws, they buy the raws, they go to the shops, they buy the raws, they send them into CGC for the signings. And then you can't find $2, $3, $4 copies anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I mean, I look at some of these books raw that I used to buy, and you can't even, you know, some of the photo covers from the celebrities, and you go to buy them now when they were $5 and now they're $50.
Yeah, because you just can't find them.
Because you try finding a Ewan McGregor photo cover.
Yeah,
you can't.
Exactly.
They used to be plentiful.
Easy books. Yeah, that early Dark Horse episode 1 stuff. Dime a dozen. You can find them a million of them. Now you can't.
So Gen 13 is the classic Jeff Campbell series, basically.
Yes, yeah. Was it his first big series? I mean, I know he did other things, but I mean, this guy's big now. This might be it.
I think this was his signature back in the day. This was his.
This was pre-Danger Girl, you know.
Yeah, Danger Girl was popular, just never came out.
Yeah, right. All 4 issues. Yeah,
I know. It took like 10 years. Okay, so Gen 13 Limited #1 came out in February of '94. There's 413 9/8. It's only about $100 book today. That was the first title entirely devoted to Gen 13. Pull out Gen 13 poster by Jim Lee. Jim Lee's story, J. Scott Campbell and Alex Garner cover and art. Alex Garner's still around today. He still does great stuff. There's a newsstand edition. There's only 23 9.8s. Impossible to find. $50 raw book. There's a second print. There's only 8 9.8s. That's an $8 to $10 raw book. Wow. So that's Gen 13. So if I'm buying the limited series, I'd look for the newsstand or the second print.
Totally.
They're very, 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 very hard to find. Okay. Then on the Gen 13 #1 from 1995, we're not going to go through all the iterations, but I do want to hit on the ones that everyone is looking for. It's a Brandon Choi, J. Scott Campbell story, J. Scott Campbell and Alex Garner art with Jason Pearson cover on the cover, on the main cover. So in any case, there's the Chromium edition, 11 9.8. That's about $125 raw. There's the Gold edition of cover A, 0 9.8s. That's a $40 raw book. I'm only hitting on the books that I think you need to buy. Yeah. Interestingly enough, a lot of these pops are so low, you actually can't even find them in 9/8. They must be in J. Scott Campbell collections.
Yeah. You're just keeping them.
Right. But just very quickly, the J. Scott Campbell cover A is the Charge cover. The cover B is the Thumbs Up cover. The cover C is the Little Jen cover by Arthur Adams. Cover D is the Simon Bisley Barb Jen cover. Cover E is a Spider-Man grunge cover. That book is a little bit hot because that's a John Cleary cover. It's a $40 raw book. There's only 47 9.8. So the grunge Spider-Man is something that they're looking for. The Madison Avenue cover is cover F. The Michael Lopez Lin Jen Ree variant cover is cover G. Cover H is the Jason Pearson cover. That's the Janet Jackson homage cover with the hands
holding on the boot. Yeah.
That's a very, very popular one. There's 82. There's 82 9.8. There's 1 9.9. That's a $300 book in 9/8 and $150 raw. So that's the big one, the Janet Jackson one.
Yeah.
Then there's the Brady Bunch cover I, the Dolled Up cover J. That's a $25 raw book.
I remember that one.
The Vertigen variant cover K, the Pulp Fiction cover L.
I remember that one very well.
Right? The Do-It-Yourself blank. This may have been the first blank cover, by the way.
I think you're right. Yeah,
this might be the first blank cover
stuff, but this is early. Yeah.
Yes. Only 17 9.8s, and that's why that cover is $40 to $50. I think it might be the first blank sketch cover. Yeah. And the second print is about $10 to $15 raw. So anything of these in high grade are big money.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind.
Yep.
Okay. All right, Alex's pick of the week. Did you pick something up from a show, a store?
Oh, you might have got me. I love British annuals, and we talked about British annuals a couple while ago. But I picked another one up, and this is one of my favorite ones because it's different than American titles. So when GI Joe ported to the UK, GI Joe GI didn't mean anything to the Europeans.
Oh, right.
Nobody
Okay.
knew what that was, so they changed it to Action Force because then it just makes more sense. When they made Ninja Turtles, Ninja wasn't. I don't believe it was able.
I've
to
never
gear,
seen that.
Yeah,
I've never seen
they
that.
weren't able to gear it towards kids with the word ninja. So Ninja Turtles became Teenage Mutant Hero. It's a little bit off here.
I've never
Hero
seen
Turtles. That. Yeah. And I saw it sitting on a table, and it was like £3, and I was like, I absolutely want this. And of course, it's an annual, so it's got all this it's got a storybook in here. There's a comic. There's coloring pages. There's activities. And if you're a Ninja Turtles head, I mean, these aren't super rare. You can find some online, but you have to search for them. And these are just hilarious to me. And 1989, so it was literally around the time. Yeah,
I've never seen that before.
Hero Turtles.
Clever. All right, Alex, what do we got next?
Maybe the second most third well-known thing Bill Williams ever done. Elementals.
Yeah, why these prices are climbing pretty good.
Yeah.
What's going on here? Anything that we should know?
I don't know if they're maybe making this into a media thing. Everything's always been bought, but I mean, when you talk about Bill Willingham, the first thing that everybody comes to head is Fables, and that's probably the most well-known thing he's done or might ever will do. Who knows? But I mean, Bill Willingham had been in comics for a long time before Fables launched and was as successful as it was. He did some stuff for Eros, and the cool thing about Elementals is he did a lot of the art. Like we know Bill Willingham and Mark Buckingham from Fables. Mark Buckingham's stuff is absolutely phenomenal. But Bill Willingham was a cartoonist. Like he did a lot of stuff himself, and this series ran for a while. Like Comico had kept going. Like this was one of the longest running series. And again, this is early independent stuff. Ninja Turtles boom era. Independence where there was a glut, so a lot of this stuff gets kind of pushed aside or thrown in a box and ignored. But this is a well-received book. I mean, it's about these elementals fighting, and the only way that they can like the elementals like fire and water, they can come to Earth and help fight is they have to put their soul into a body of a person who's died from that. So if you had been killed by fire, the fire elemental would take your body and make you into this hero. Very interesting idea. And again, early Bill Willingham. If you're love Fables and you want to read more Bill Willingham stuff, there's a ton of Elementals comics for you to get.
It is interesting that these books are selling for so much money, right? Yeah. So Justice Machine Annual #1 by Texas Comics from 1983. There's 49.8s, by the way, which surprised me.
Not so bad, yeah. For an independent book?
Right?
Yeah.
It's almost a $400 book now.
Yeah.
First appearance of the Elementals, wraparound cover, backup story by Bill Willingham and Bill Anderson. Bill Loebs, know him as William Mester Loebs, Bill Reinhold and Jeff D. Art with a Michael Golden cover.
Yeah, a lot of names there. A lot of names
there, right?
Yeah.
And then there's the Comico version of Elementals, continued with Comico 1984, a year later, 23.9.8, and that's about a $300 book.
That's low. 23.98. That's very low.
All right, what are we closing up with today, Alex?
Some character you might have not heard of him, might be somebody that escapes your radar, but Red Hood.
Yeah, so this is going bonkers, Alex. So talk to us.
Red Hood was a fake out character in the Jim Lee Jeff Loeb Hush series, and then was brought back and actually became a character with Judd Winnick, and has literally, I think, next to Dick Grayson, Robin, Nightwing, might be the second most popular Batman character that they've created. And this is a character that everybody talks about, like deaths, like how many people have stayed dead. Gwen Stacy, Jason Todd. Well, now it's only really Gwen Stacy and Peter Parker's parents really who have stayed dead in comics, because now he's back as the Red Hood and he's an anti-hero, sometimes villain, sometimes hero. I think he's a hero again. But the fact that Jason Todd died, comes back through the Lazarus Pit and becomes Red Hood is just, people love that story, love that comeback story. And he's been everything. He's in an animated movie. He's in the Titans TV show. Like, he's back.
Yeah, these characters have gone absolutely crazy. Okay, Batman number 635, February of 2005. Wow, 17 years already. Jeez.
Yeah.
855 9.8. It's still almost a $400 book.
That's crazy. That is a lot of 9.8. That just shows you the character. That's because the people love the character. They don't care that there's so many out there. They just want that book.
Right. First, Jason Todd as Red Hood, Mr. Freeze and Black Mask appearance. Oh, Black Mask also was in there, right?
Yep.
Judd Winnick's story, Doug Mahnke and Tom Nguyen art with a Matt Wagner cover. Interesting. Okay.
Matt Wagner, yep.
Then Red Hood, The Lost Days, number 1, August of 2010, 5 years later. 9.8. It's about a $5 book. I would buy those up. Because wait till you hear the Mattina cover. Judd Winnick's story, Pablo Raimondo art, Francesco Mattina cover. Francesco Mattina does the variant cover, which we'll get to in a second.
Yeah.
So the Francesco Mattina 1 in 25 variant cover. There are 49.8s. Those are almost $1,200 in 9.8 and $600 in 9.6.
Crazy.
Any reason why, Alex? That
low ordered. I remember when these books came out. I was working at Midtown.
Oh, you were there. Okay.
Yeah. Red Hood was popular. I mean, it was a popular character, but not at all what it is now. So when you're talking about something where it's like an origin story, and that's what Lost Days was, is like kind of retelling what happened to him. This is a huge book. So if you're talking the print run was maybe like 20,000, maybe a little bit more for number 1. I don't think it was a highly ordered book.
It's a nice
1 in
cover.
25, yeah. Mattina's
right. So if a store ordered 10 or 15 or 18, they didn't get the 1 in 25.
Right. And I don't think this was a book that was ordered like that. Midtown probably had all of the 1 in 25 in the country for a while. But not highly ordered. Hard to find.
Yeah. All right. This was great. Thank you for joining us for another episode. Happy holiday. We hope you all had a happy holiday.
Yes.
If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the field below. We thank you for joining us once again. And we will see everybody next week. Same bad time.
Same bad channel. Thanks, guys.